Hey there, Vanagon addicts. It's Ken Wilford here at Vanagon. We have a customer here, Ian, who got a custom TDI 2.0 engine put in by Boxeer a couple months ago, and he just drove this thing by and wanted to show you guys. This is Ian. How you doing? Okay. This is his custom install by Boxeer. They're down in North Carolina,
Nashville,
Tennessee. Nashville, Tennessee. Oh. And they've been doing this for a couple years now.
yeah.
They put these, I guess it's supposed to be common rail injection TDIs, 2.0 liters into Vanagons. And it's been working out pretty good for you, right? Been enjoying it?
Yeah, we're right around 8,000 miles on it.
Okay.
Took some time to break in a little bit. Like I was saying earlier, we're roughly 29-30 miles to the gallon on kind of like back roads, 50-ish miles an hour, 30 to 50 miles an hour. On the highway, around 70 miles per hour, which is like 3,200 RPMs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little bit lower, around 26, 27 miles to the gallon, but
It's still a lot better than a water boxer.
I was getting 13 with my
Yeah, I mean the water boxer on the highway is usually where it gets its best, but it's max 19.
Yeah.
You know, so and diesel. I mean, I can't remember. Diesel's more expensive a little bit now, but
yeah.
but you know, usually diesel engines, you know, they actually last a lot longer just because of the fact they turn less RPMs. You know, like about half.
Sure.
So that's why they get their longevity. So I mean, what do you think about? Is there any downsides to it that you would say?
So we had a little bit of an issue with some coolant leaking.
Okay.
Back here, way down deep under the intercooler, there was a fitting. We just needed some tweaking for a little while. We eventually fixed that. I was going through, in my coolant bubble, I was probably losing a couple inches of coolant every tank and a half.
Okay.
We finally got that squared away. But since then, there really hasn't been any problems.
Okay, sweet.
The power is good. I'm at 150 horsepower, give or take.
Wow.
While I'm driving 70, if I want to pass a tractor trailer, I can step on it and pass a tractor trailer.
I bet you see a lot of surprised faces, or if you even can see them from.
Yeah, a lot of surprise faces, a lot of waves.
Okay.
A lot of people, I think some friends who had some old Volkswagens back in the day, we've kind of raced a little bit.
They're kind of shocked.
They're definitely shocked at how much power is in it. For sure.
Yep. I mean, I'm impressed by. I've done a lot of these conversions as far as, you know, we put a 5-cylinder gas in one before. We put in a turbo diesel one before. We like a Volkswagen. I've did almost every kind of conversion you can imagine. Bostig. The only one I haven't done is Subaru. But you know, I'm impressed by the build quality of this one. It's hard to really see on the video, but I mean, just the engine mounts are basically like a work of art on this car. I mean, it looks like almost something that you would see in a building. It's got like some I-beam construction with cutouts and things. I mean, we did the Bostik. That one's nice. I mean, they're basically doing all their stuff on a CAD CAM machine and like, you know, all that stuff like robo laser or whatever, welding and things. But I mean, this looks even nicer than that somehow.
Yeah, I think the one, if I could go back and redo it, Matt Steedle here in New Jersey redid the transmission. We did a 4.57 ring and pinion to space out the gears. I think if he suggested initially if I wanted to go to 5 gears.
5-speed.
I didn't want to mess with that. I think I should have.
Okay.
My first gear is a little tall, and my fourth gear I feel is a little short. So we probably should have added a fifth and dropped the first a little bit. But
yeah, it's a hard call. I mean,
you don't know.
Yeah. Because like a lot of the 5-speeds, the first gear is super short. And then when you get to 5th gear, it's almost like 4th gear. Like that's what I've experienced with them. So it's almost like, and some of these, because they have so much torque and things, I don't even use 1st gear. Like I start out in 2nd. and it doesn't even seem to phase that at all. So I mean, I don't know if this one's like that, but I would
you
assume
you can start in second, but I mean it would prefer to start in first.
Okay.
Second's doable, but
Yeah, because I mean, when we did that turbo diesel one, I was worried about that. I told the guy, I'm like, I would recommend re-gearing the transmission for this, but he's like, well, let's just try it, with a regular water boxer trans and see what happens. Well, it wound up being that you basically start in second gear, and it did it fine. Like, it didn't even really seem to burden the engine or anything.
should we start it and then show the engine
Sure. Yeah, yep. So he's gonna crank it up so you guys can see what that sounds like. He drove in here. It was very quiet, really. I mean, it's definitely got a different sound than a water boxer. And you can see his muffler down here is coming out not in the same area. Got a customized paint job on this car and everything. This is your controls here, which I like. I really like.
It's hot. It's been sitting in the sun.
Yeah, I know. They don't really like that either.
No.
Tablets. I mean, I like the original dash cluster, but they have so much problems now because of the age. And it would be great to be able to replace it with something, more modern. And especially when you have OBD2, you can see so much things going on. So he's got his speed in the middle, he's got his battery voltage right there,
rail pressure,
RPM, oil pressure, EGT, and you can switch, right? You can go to other screens that has other information. And also, you could probably get codes and stuff from it too, right? If you had a code. How does that work?
I think it does codes.
So
the
doesn't
engine seems to be so simple that like I was saying when I had to swap my gas tank.
Okay.
If you send a little bit of information to Greg at Boxeer, he seems to know pretty much what the problem is.
Well, I know with the Bossig one, that's a modern engine like this. Huh. Okay, there you go, one. Yeah, they, one of the big things with that is custom coding. So you can actually code, like you run it, and then he codes it to whatever kind of feedback he's seeing from the computer and stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it just gives you more options, especially when it's hard to know sometimes how people are going to use the vans. Like this car here, this is kind of becoming a Westie or whatever.
Yeah, and I'm using it as a daily driver on top of it.
And so, it's like, and it's a two-wheel drive. I mean, but you could have a Synchro, you could have it way more loaded with stuff, and any way you do all that stuff, it makes it drive different, ride different. So, all right. So overall, you're happy.
Very.
Okay, great.
Absolutely, would do it again. We talked about if I got a Doka, I'd put one of these in
yep.
Okay.
All right, well, I appreciate you sharing your experiences on this with us. And you guys like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you guys on the next video.